Hi everybody, this is Pam with Jesusjunkjournals, and I am going to bind my signatures today for the Jonah journal. Okay, I got to be honest with you. I decoupaged, and then I got to looking at my napkins. I had another napkin that I didn't use, and I ended up going back and decoupaging a lot more pages. So just so you know, I did quite a bit more. So, and then the other thing is, and I apologize for the other videos going, I do this every time. Sometime I'm going to learn. I rearrange, I arrange, carry on, and then right before I bind them, I end up switching them around again. So here is the final shuffle, so to speak. You don't have to do what I did, but I'll let you know what I did. So for this signature, I put the Jonah page like first, then I turned this one around, which is the Jonah page, and that didn't matter, it can go either way. In other words, it can go like this. This is sort of a plain page, it could go anywhere, so it can go like this, it could go like that, it doesn't really matter. So this one is the boat and fish spitting Jonah out page. I put that next. And this one is just the water page again. This one's interchangeable, it could go anywhere. And then the last page in this signature is the map. So what that means is when we bind it, this will be my title page, and there's the map. And there's the fish spitting Jonah out. So that's the first signature. The second signature, because I wanted this to be a full page, I put that on the inside, so I'll flip it over so you'll see. On this signature, I've got this, because this needed to come at the very end. That's the very last thing of the book where he's sitting under this plant. So I put this on top, and then I put this page, which is just interchangeable, could be any page. This one, now this is the one where he's preaching to Nineveh, so it needed to go towards the back. So I put it here, and then of course that one is the top one. So that's how I arranged them. This will be folded like this, so this will be the one where I'm going to glue it shut as a pocket. And so I told you, you know, we're doing all this decoupaging and everything, and stuff won't show. These won't show because they're going to be glued together on the two sides. Then this page, and then the boat, and then the whale, and then him preaching to Nineveh, and then at the very back, he's looking out at the city. And so that's the second signature. And then I told you I was going to make a removable journal. So I just cut down some, this is just copy paper that I took instant coffee. I mixed like 2.5 tablespoons in a little spray bottle. So it's super, super concentrated coffee. And then I laid a stencil over my copy paper and just spritzed it through the stencil and let it dry. And that's what I got here. And this was a piece of paper that my sister sent me that she ran through a printer. She coffee stained it and then ran it through a printer and printed the lines on it. And this is just coffee stained paper. Here's some more stenciling. So that's what I did. I cut, I think I got 2 pages out of each sheet of paper. So I guess I used, like, what did I use? 1, 2, 3 sheets of paper, which gives me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Well, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages, double spread pages, which then gives me 24 pages of writing area. And so I'm going to bind this separately, and then I'm going to put a string in the journal to tie it in. And I think I'll put it in the middle and have these on each side of it. So right now I'm going to bind them. So I've got wax linen thread, got the big darning needles, and I've got my awl. So these are in a kit at Amazon. It's a place you can get them. I got all of this, and I think I got, I don't know, a couple of rolls of the wax linen thread with it for $11 or something. And I always use my smallest needle, just so it makes a smaller hole. And I cut 2.5 times the height of my signature. So 1, 2, 2.5. I take it and smash it down with my thumbnails, so it's flat, and it should just go right through the eye of these big needles. Just make a little bitty tail, and then you're going to want a piece of foam rubber or packing. I've got this piece of packing foam from an Amazon package I always use. So you want to make sure that your signatures are all evened up and that they're pushed completely down in the fold. And we're going to stitch them together, and we're going to keep them as folded closed as we can, because if you open this up and try to stitch your stitches, see that gap? It messes it up. It won't lay right. So you want to make it closed and your pages pushed as far down into that fold as you can get them. And it's good to have a few clamps on hand to hold it. Clamp that. Now we're going to make 3 holes. I'm going to punch a hole in the middle, and I'm just going to eyeball it. It's really easy to do. This is a super easy thing to do. So don't panic if you haven't done it before. And then you decide where you want the strings to be when you're done, because you could tie little charms onto it or something like that. And if you want that on the inside of your journal, then you want to start on the inside and pull it through, leave a little bit of a tail there. And then you're going to poke a hole just a little way down from the top. Put your needle through that. And then the only tricky thing about sewing signatures is you got to go back through that middle hole. So you want to pull it tight. You want to hold this tail tight down. And I'm trying to shut it, but I want you to see what I'm doing. I'm poking that back through that hole, but I don't want to catch that thread because that will really mess you up. So I've poked it through the same hole, pulling it out, and looks like I need just a little bit more string. So I'm going to pull that through. Okay, so now I'm going to fold it up, make sure my paper's all the way down in that fold as far as I can get it. And I'm going to poke a hole at this end, just a little way from the end. And I'm going to come back through it here. And then take this clamp off, take my needle off, and tie it in a knot in the center. And I tie it like 3 times because I seem to have trouble keeping them tight. So I tie several times. Tie it tight. And then if you want to glue little cutouts of seashells or anything like that, you can glue them to the ends and have them be like little charms in there. Or you can tie a bow if you want. I always think I'm going to go back and tie charms on there, and then I don't do it. But you can tie it in a little bow. And that's it. That's your signature. You can go back with distress ink if you want to distress the edges of that. Now, some people have asked me, well, why do you do it twice? Because I usually bind my signatures, and then later I bind them to the cover. You can do it in a one-step process. And normally on a mini journal, I do it in a one-step process. I make a cover, I take my pages, I just sew them all together at the same time. But when I have multiple signatures, for me, I just like to have it free where I can work with it, take it to the sewing machine a little bit easier. And then later, when I figure the cover out, I bind it again. It's just not that hard. So that's my answer to that. So here's the signature. So I'm gonna make sure all my pages are nice and even, that this fold is, everything's pushed down into the fold as far as I can get it. And I need to get my thread ready, I forgot. So 2.5 times that. Or some people do 3. I don't like to waste stuff, and I always end up cutting them off, so I just do 2.5 times. Okay. And take my awl, and I'm going to push, now on this signature, I want my tie, my knot at the end to be on the outside, because I don't need it in the middle of my map confusing anything. So I'm going to poke a hole in the middle, kind of eyeball where I think the middle is. Keep it away from that white line so I don't mess my map up. And on this one, like I said, I'm going to go in from the back, poke the needle in, pull it through, but leave a tail back there to tie. And then poke the hole at the bottom, just a little ways up from the bottom. Poke my needle through there. And then, like I said, the only tricky part, hold this part down and run your needle back through that same hole without catching that thread. Pull it back out. And then regroup, shut it, make sure your fold's all the way down and all that good stuff. And then you're going to poke that third hole. Put your needle through it and you're almost done. Pull it through and pull the needle off and tie your knots and you're done. I'm going to cut these off, throw them away. So there's that signature, and then we have this last signature. Okay, so there are the signatures, and we can start figuring out where we want to put our little pieces and parts. So we've got pockets that need to go on a page. We've got this that needs to go. We know where this is going to go. It's going to go wherever that whale's, here he is. So I know this is going to go here. And so I'm going to go ahead and glue these 2 pages together with my art glitter glue. And I want to do it pretty close to the edge because I don't want that file folder to bind up at all. Okay, so that's going to go there. And then we have several of these pocket things that are going to glue different places. So let's look at those. We've got this one. We've got a belly band, this little one. And so on this one, I was thinking about, these are all going to go on this side. Okay, so I was thinking about putting a string on this one to tie it shut, but you wouldn't have to. You could just leave it, you could just let it fold and unfold by itself. So I think I will do that. I'm going to, so now this one could go here, could go here. That might look cool. So figure out where you want it to go. It's going to open up and have the little babies. Maybe it looks cool with the ocean. Figure out where you want it. It's going to need to go on this side, on the left side, wherever you end up putting it. I kind of like it color-wise up here with the blues. So I think I'm going to go ahead and glue it there. So I'm just going to put my art glitter glue. Be sure you put glue right on that edge, right along there. And then glue it right on the edge of the page. Okay, so he's going to unfold and unfold like that. And I think I might want to put some washi tape there. So let me see what do I have. I don't have any I don't have any seashell washi tape. Got some dark blue. I'm not sure that might look all right. Just make it kind of blend in. So I'm going to put a little bit of glue because, you know, washi tape, you can't really depend on the glue to last forever. So I'm going to put some art glitter glue and some washi tape. And I think that looks better than that flap Sean. Okay, so trim that off. Not to mention that that's one more thing that holds that flap on and reinforces it. So we've got, so I've got that and this signature, and I've got this with the file folder in this signature. I'm kind of like, I try to keep track of how much thickness I've got, how many attachments in each signature I have. So, and if this lines up at all, I'm going to trim it down. No, I think it fits. If it gives you any trouble, just trim it down on one edge. Well, I don't really like how that's going. So I'm just going to cut like and then round off my corner, just so it goes in and out a little bit easier. Okay, so we've got Jonah in the belly of the whale. Kind of like a little joke, I know, I'm sorry. And so we've got one thing in here, and we've got one thing in here that's kind of thick. Okay, so I've got these two flaps that are thick. This one's thick because it's got this note paper in it. So figure out where you want that to go. Looks kind of pretty there. I'm going to glue it there. So same deal. You might even want to round those corners off. Actually, I think I do. I'm going to round these corners off. Let's see. Well, is that going to let me get in there? Nope, it's not going to let me get in there, so I'm just going to do it by hand. Like that. And then glue. And it should be just exactly the length of your page. So be sure you get it started at the very top or very bottom. And then out to the edge. And see if I want that same washi tape. That's kind of dark for that one. Let me see if I have anything. Okay. And that paper kind of moves around, so you can get it so it doesn't stick out. And you could actually make a little tie here with string. We'll decide about that later because we can come back and do that after the fact. And then we have one more pocket. So I want to make it on the other signature. And this is the one that just has the little pocket in it. So look and see which page it looks the best on. It could, I mean, you could put it here, except that you don't want to bind up where your fold is, and so really it's better on the edge. That's not too bad. I don't want to cover my fish up, although that's kind of cute, like you open it and there's the fish peeking out underneath. I like that one. Maybe I'll do him. I'll put him there. Put it there. Okay. And then I've got a polka dot that's sort of that color. I'm going to use that, I think, down the fold just for fun. Oh, our sirens are going off. Sorry about that. Okay, so we have our flaps on the sides in today. So I think I'm going to stop. So we got our signatures bound and we got our flaps in. So I'm going to stop for today. And I will come back and we will pick up where we left off. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, click the like button, think about subscribing, and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.